sound coming through. I can turn it off.
Oh, okay. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your life and about the history of this area. And just if you can, like, if I say, what is your name?
Yes.
Say, my name is.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. So I'm just going to start off by doing a short introduction. Are you ready? My name is Day Johnson. I'm interviewing Mr. Owen Pleasant at his home in Burlington, Ohio on August the 18th, 2007. Thank you very much, Mr. Burlington. Can you please tell me your full name and please spell it for me?
Owen Pleasant, OwenPleasant.
And what is your date and place of birth?
Born July the 1st, 1913, Burlington, Ohio.
And were you born at home or in a hospital?
At home, right? Two houses right behind this one over there.
What were the names of your parents?
My father's name was Owen Pleasant. My mother's name was Anna Garden Pleasant.
And when was your father born?
Lady, that I couldn't remember. But my father came from West Virginia. He was raised by a family of white people, Duesenberries. Duesenberries' brother had a lot of slaves. He had slaves from right across the river here carrying to Point Pleasant. But my father was not a slave. He and his sister both were raised by white people. In some way or another, one white family taking his sister, and Duesenberry taking my father. Well, he lived in Guyandotte, West Virginia, right up here by Huntington. And they set him up in a barber shop. He learned barber. They put him in the barber shop, and he learned to be a barber. That was his trade. So he barbered in Huntington, West Virginia, and finally came over here and he had a barber shop here.
Tell me a little bit about your mother.
Well, my mother, she died at an early age. She was only 53 years old when she died. But she did domestic work part-time. She was a wonderful cook and seamstress. She sewed for a lot of the people here and cooked for a lot of the people here.
Do you know the name of your father's parents?
No, I don't.
How about your mother's parents?
Well, Isaiah Garden was my mother's father, and Susan Wilson Garden was my grandmother, my mother's mother.
Do you know how they got to this part of Ohio?
Yeah. Well, grandmother came as a slave in 1849. She came from Virginia. A man named James Twyman freed 37 of his slaves. He had 40-something. 3 of them stayed in Virginia and bought 640 acres of ground here in Burlington and made provisions for them to come here and live. The government escorted them here from down in Virginia because they never got here. They got killed coming here. But the government sent part of armed force here. This guy came here, and he sent people to stay here with him, got them settled down for years, bought tents to live in tents till the guy was able to build whole houses. And then beside the ground, he left them $10,000 to live on.
And this is your mother's family.
Yes, ma'am.
What else can you tell us about the Burlington 37? What did they do after they got here?
Well, they farmed, worked for the farmers here. Wasn't nothing else for them to do. So they worked the farm, and they had church services in their homes, and wasn't no church here. So they went to the church across the hill here, about 3 or 4 miles, called Macedonia. And they went back, they worshiped that back to Macedonia Baptist Church for years. Finally, they got a charter to come to Burlington and build a house. So they bought a lot right where our church building is sitting now and built a church there. They bought a lot from the school board, and they built a church there, a wooden church, and we worshiped there until 1970. And we tore that church down. We built a metal building, the lower part. We worshiped there about 7 years, and we built a brick church around it. The sanctuary is built around a metal building. And on the left side is where we used worship for a while, where we call it the fellowship hall now in Sunday school rooms.
And that's the First Baptist Church here?
Yes, ma'am.
What made them decide to move down from Macedonia to down here?
Well, it was in the wintertime. It was hard for them to get there. And they had no transportation but the horse and wagon and walk. And that was about 3 or 4 miles through them woods. That was just too much for them.
Can you tell me the name of your wife?
My wife,
Uh-huh.
I'm Jean Maxine Pleasant,
And where was she born?
right here in Burlington.
And do you remember her date of birth?
March the 23rd, 1919.
Oh, she's still alive?
Yeah, she said she's taking a breathing treatment.
Oh, okay. You guys are blessed with longevity. How did you meet your wife?
Well, we school child the children together. She lived about 2 squares from one another.
When did you get married and where?
We got married at her house in 1934.
And can you please tell me who married you?
A pastor of our church, Reverend C.W. Rogers.
And can you tell me the name of your children?
Well, we had 3 children. Charles, which we lost about 2 years ago, Morris was the second child, and we had another little girl, 2 years old, Regina Maxine. We lost her when she was 2 years and 8 months old.
So, do you know their dates of birth, the children that you had?
Hers was March the 20th. No, sister's December the 20th, 19 and I'll get down in June. I know it was December the 20th, 19 and 40 summer. Yeah, about 1945 or something. My aunt, when was Sis's born? When was Sis's birthday born? When was our baby Sis born?
December the 20th.
What year? What year?
35, I think.
Oh, no, it wasn't no 35.
34.
No, it wasn't no, we were married.
I'm 38.
Well, no, it was later than that.
She's 2 years older than Mars.
2 years younger than me.
2 years younger than.
She's 2 years younger than me. She's born in 37.
No, she wasn't born no 37.
I was born in 35. She's
Well.
2 years younger than me.
Well,
She was 2 years older. Mars was 2 years older than she was.
well, maybe she was born 37 then. I can't, no, couldn't have been born no, we had no 3 children in 3 years. I was working on I left here in 40-something. I went to Hamilton, Ohio to work, and she was born while I was in Hamilton, Ohio, and I come home the next day.
She's born
In the 40s.
41. She died. December 41.
I could go up here and get the book.
What made you move to Hamilton, Ohio? Why did you move to Hamilton, Ohio?
We didn't move her. I went there to work. I went there to work at a nightclub, wait table. Wasn't no work here. I worked at a nightclub here, and it closed. And some people there owned a nightclub in Hamilton. They asked me would I come out there and work for them, so I left and went out there to work. And I only been there 2 weeks when the baby was born, so I come back home and I didn't go back.
What nightclub did you work for here in Burlington?
It was well, I will be. What's the name of the club up there, Morris? Buckeye.
The Buckeye.
Buckeye nightclub.
And then what was the name of the club that you worked at in Hamilton, Ohio?
It's the Hamilton Club. It's called Hamilton Club.
Hamilton Club?
Yeah.
Now, how did you start working in nightclubs?
Well, I was a janitor. They needed a janitor. I went to work up there as a janitor. And I was cleaning the dining room, and a couple of people came in. Well, it was 4 or 5 people come in, nobody to serve them, so the cook had me to serve their dinner. And I had about 6 or 8 people there, and the cash register really run up that day, so they wanted to stop and they would stay all the evening to see how the business was. So they'd spent so doggone much money, they tired. I took them in their living room. The woman laid down on the couch, and he slept in the chair. Well, when the boss come in, he asked me, who was that in his living room? I said, them my friends. He said, I told you that was our living room. Nobody was going there but us. I said, well, I can't help it. They're my friends too. So he said, what you been doing here? I said, this cash register up like that. I said, them people been spending money. And it was 2 or 3 other fellows there from up in West Virginia. And he said, I'm going in and talk with them. So they went and talked with them about business. And they told him about how their business was. So they booked a show there for him, a striptease show. And the night the striptease show was, the fair was going there in August. So wasn't too many cars, we didn't have much business. But I took some bills, I went to the fair, and when I come back from the fair, so many people there, I couldn't get in the parking lot. And that show run out the way for 2 months, every night. And I put me in the dining room to work, and I waited table in the dining room. And I gave such good service working in the dining room, he made me manager of the club.
Now, were these African American clubs?
No, the white club.
So how long did you work in nightclubs?
I worked from then up to the next year.
Can you tell us about what it was like growing up here in Burlington?
Very nice. This was a good town for young people. We didn't have nothing going on here but school and church. Nice playground equipment. We had ball teams out here where you see this public square. That was our playground. We played ball out there, horseshoes and croquet, marbles such as that. That was our stomping, we call that our stomping ground. All the kids all around come here to play. Then when the crooked politicians sold that piece of property to the county judge, probate judge, and they had us, we couldn't go down the street. People down the street couldn't come up, fence it off, go put something in lots. So my uncle lived right over behind this house. He sued the judge, and they beat us in the county court and took it to the Court of Appeals. Well, the Court of Appeals ruled that Lawrence County never did own it. A man, one of our first commissioners named Davison, lived right down the street there. Davison gave that cow to the promise, gave that property to the county on one court, that if they ever stopped to use it, it went to the property holders of Burlington. It was a school down there. My mother went to school right down there. And it was a county courthouse there. And after county courthouse burned, they put a school there. And mother went to school there. The old county jail, what we had right back over there yet, right across from our church. And we're putting it into a museum now. So we fixed this playground up here. We got grants to fix this playground out where the boys having basketball game out there now and something. So we've always had a nice, association with the different boys in different towns, South Point and Sidebeam, Macedonia. So Burlington's been on the ball always.
Where did you attend school?
I attended school here at Burlington, graduated South Point High School.
What year?
South Point.
What year?
Oh, 29. No, 1930. 30.
No, was the school you went to segregated or integrated?
No, integrated.
What did you do after graduating from high school?
What did I do? I would take a job chauffeuring for a traveling salesman.
What was his name?
Henry B. Hawkins.
Turn that air conditioner on, it's hot in here.
From Louisville, Kentucky.
I think you can make it. She's born the 20th and died September the 1994.
41, Mom.
Yeah, so she's born in 1937.
That interfere with the sound?
A little bit. Yeah, I don't.
Interfere with the sound, Mom. The air conditioning interferes with the sound.
Oh, okay.
I'll hurry up, so it won't be that long.
Have
What?
my fan, bring my fan, Mark. It's in on the bed.
That's all right.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you know about the growing up? Did you attend church regularly?
Yes, ma'am, we had to.
Why?
That's just a tradition of our family. My grandfather was a deacon. My mother played the piano and organ at the church. And we just had to go to church. We brought her raised that way.
What were some of the activities associated with church?
TV.
Well, we had BYPU and such as that, Bible training class. And then we'd have everywhere we had Sunday school picnics and such as that. And we had a young baseball team at our church for young boys.
What was the racial climate like here? How did blacks and whites get along in
Good,
Burlington?
good.
Were there ever incidents of discrimination?
No. Well, with discrimination too, because we went to school, at the grade school, the black and whites didn't go to school together until 1930, let's see. They went to, let's see, they didn't go to school together until 1949.
So what was the colored elementary school?
They say
What was the name of the school that African Americans went to or blacks?
Burlington first, Burlington School.
And were the teachers African American or white?
Yeah, we got black teachers, African American teachers, and the white teachers. See, we had a large school, 4-room school here, and the white children went upstairs and the black children went downstairs.
How long? So you said that happened until the 1949 that
Right.
they were split?
Well, the school politics, the school board here got rotten and stole a lot of money, and we didn't have money to keep the school open. So they split the school and we had to go, some had to go to South Point and some went up here. So we built a new school, and the little school up on the road, on the side of the road, the blacks took that school. It was 4 rooms, and we had 4 rooms and 3 teachers, I believe, up there. Then we had Negro teachers went into high school. Hadn't been no Negro teachers in the high school until then. Had teachers going down there. And our black teacher, Mr. Carl Justice, a cousin of mine, he was my grandmother's nephew. He was paid more money for teaching grade school than the white principal of the high school down there made. He had a master's degree in education. He taught in West Virginia till he retired. Then he came over here and taught. He had a master's degree in education, and the principal of the high school didn't have. So he was paid more than the teacher, principal of the school down here.
And what year was this?
1950.
Now, growing up, what did you do for fun? Were there movie theaters and roller skating rinks around here?
No, went to Huntington for theaters.
How about roller skating?
Well, we didn't have no roller skating here for a long while. Went over town to roller skating. Went to Ironton and Huntington's with swimming pools, because the biggest part was boys swam in the river.
Can you tell us some family stories about slavery in your family?
Well, my grandmother was a slave, as I say. She was one of the 37 slaves that came here, but she tells about how nice their master was to them. He didn't allow his slaves to be mistreated. Now, it was my grandmother's brother, Uncle Horace Twyman. He was kind of the leader of the gang. Back in those days, they had riders on horses that went around to see if the slaves worked, and they always had a dog with them and a whip. So this white fellow, I don't know why he come around, Uncle Horace wasn't working too good, and he told him to kind of pick it up. Said, don't let me come back here and you're working like that. So he come back, he working the same way. And he told the horse, I told you you wasn't doing enough work, you pick it up. Says if you don't, you ain't doing better when you come back here. Says I'll put this dog on you. Uncle Horace didn't do no better. Come back, he stuck the dog on him, had one of them big holes, hit the dog in the head and killed him. And he told him, says, you fool me, I'll do you the same way. So he went in, all of them thought Horace gonna do something. I thought the slave master gonna do something. So he fired the man that was the boss, and told him he didn't want his slaves mistreated. He hired him to look after him. Wasn't no sense of him going to put no dog on none of his slaves. That's how nice a man Mr. Twyman was.
Now, where was this plantation?
It's between here and Washington. We've been in about 90 miles of it. There's several white people been here, and we got to come right across their farm, going from here to Washington, down to Quantico. You know where Quantico, Virginia's at?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So I come right through the plantation, the road, come right through Hyman Plantation.
What was the name of the plantation?
Twyman's. Now they grow wheat down there. And don't you know, one of Mr. Twyman's nephew married a black woman, come here and married a black woman.
When was this?
After slavery was over.
He came where to marry?
Come here in Ohio, married a black woman, took her back to Virginia.
Oh, do you know the names of the nephew and the woman?
No, I didn't know the name of them. But I got some friends here, been down there. One school teacher lives out back at Chesterhill. She'd been here. She offered to take us down there, and she was writing a book on it. And we had another fellow lives right down the street there. He'd been down there. Said he went down there. Said didn't treat him too well. And the cemetery where Mr. Twyman was buried, it was grown up in weeds. They didn't even look after it. They were so jealous. He left the black people everything he had and didn't leave his family nothing. And they were so jealous they left down there. And they have a family reunion every year out of Glasgow, Kentucky, the third Sunday in July, third week. And they, at Glasgow, Kentucky, you know where that's at?
Mm-mm.
Well, it's a nice town, wonderful lake out there, school, big congregation out there. And the principal of high school out there, been there 17 years, the mayor of town been there about 20 years, black people. And some of them out to the reunion came by here to see us. And I saw them. I have some books written by Earl Pratt, Promised Land, telling about the slaves. And I sold them books. I sold over $25,000 worth of those books. I got a letter in the mail right now from from California for some books. I sold those books. I got them all over Florida, California, Virginia, Chicago, Indiana, everywhere.
So when Twyman set the slaves free, he left all the money to the slaves. He didn't leave any to.
No, he didn't leave all his money to the slaves. He left $10,000 for them to be taken care of. And now what he did with his other money, I don't know, but he left $10,000 and put on the court record, left in the county court record down there that he had to be used that way, and he bought this ground here for him and left $10,000 in cash for him.
But you said there were supposed to be more than 37 slaves that settled?
Well, he had 43, but 3 of them stayed. He had 2 mistresses up there of his own. One was kind of crippled, and them 3 stayed. The other, all the 37 come.
So, why do you think he set his slaves free?
Well, he's told that he had a vision from the Lord that it was wrong with him to hold these people in slavery, and it worried him. So for a couple of years, that bothered him. So he called in his attorneys to make a will for him, told them how it was. So he called his attorneys and made a will about these slaves, so how to set them free. So you can do things and think you're doing right, but it'll come to you. Are you much of a Bible scholar?
Yeah,
You are?
yeah, try to be.
Well, you know what it says about he that knoweth my will and doeth not be beaten with many stripes?
Yes.
Have you read that? Huh?
Yeah.
Well, have you read about how can he say he loved God who he hasn't seen and hate his brother who he see every day?
Yeah.
You read that?
Yeah.
Well, that's what got the man. You do me wrong, lady, it's gonna come back to you. Don't you know? I was the first black man ever drove a bus here. School bus,
What year was this?
1949 and 50.
Why do you think you were the first man?
Well, I was.
No, why do you think it took until 1949 for them to have an African American bus driver?
Well, they never asked for one, I guess. We bought a lot of new school buses that year. And a friend of mine was at the school board meeting, and he asked the school board, said, y'all buying all these new buses, you ever considered having any black boys drive the bus? And they said, well, none has ever asked. Do you know any like to drive? He said, yes. Well, their names said Owen Pleasant up there. I didn't want to drive no bus. I had a good job at a theater. So they said, send the application in. I sent the application in to people, so something told me I was crazy. I sent the application in on a Friday, and I got a letter from them on Saturday. I hired as a bus driver.
How long did you work as a bus driver?
I just worked 1 year, and I wasn't paying enough money. I had a job, then out of that job I started me a janitorial service, you know.
Growing up, did you ever hear about the Underground Railroad?
Yes.
Can you tell us some of the things that you heard growing up about the Underground Railroad?
Well, it's a big house right down there on the corner, a big red brick house down here, where the Underground Railroad, the people would come across the river. They had a tunnel going clear down the river, and would come up across the street into the basement of this house. The slaves stayed there, some of them, and they stayed there, and they'd leave there and go to a place out back here called Getaway.
This is the book of the Promised Land.
And they'd get into Getaway. They'd leave there and go into Gallipolis and on into Meigs County up through there and finally into Pennsylvania, anywhere they want to go. If they got the state of Ohio, they're free.
Now, do you know if any of the people in your own family escaped on the Underground Railroad? I know some of them were settled here, but some of the other members?
No, none of our people was.
Do you know if the Burlington 37 helped on the Underground Railroad? Did they help people?
No.
Can you name some of the family names that are African American names associated, last names associated with the Underground Railroad? Burlington 37, sorry, not the Underground Railroad.
Well, I can't remember now, but It was some fellows in Polly's, some families. Their family was Underground Railroad. And he escaped and got here to Macedonia. And they come and got him. But the government made them turn them loose and come back. If you escaped and got to a free state, you was free. So the government made the men, people turn them loose and let them go free back here. Now the family here, what I dream was, it was a family here named Bottses. Thomas Botts. He was a slave in Kentucky. And he escaped and came across the river about 5 miles down the road here. And his mother was blind, and he carried his sister in his arms and led his mother across the river blind over into South Point. That's about 5 or 6 miles down the river here, and came to a family of Davisons. And Davisons kept Mr. Botts. And for a while, and then they bought him a place up the road here, right from here. And Mr. Botts grew up and raised a family here. He was a deacon in our church. And he has one granddaughter still here, goes, her and my wife about the same age. And her and my wife took up ceramic work and sold it and bought a furnace for the church. Then they sold some more and bought a piano for the church. So the Botts family was and he became a deacon in our church. And his sister that he carried across the river, Fanny, she married a man named Harris. And Harris was the deacon of the church. Somebody was just asking me yesterday about Deacon Harris. I can't think who it was.
Do you know what his first name was?
John.
John Harris?
John and Cecil. Cecil lived in Cincinnati. John, they had houses right out here on the corner. The house Cecil lived in is still there. A girl named, a lady lived there, she's 88 years old. And he just tore John's house down here about a year ago.
Have you ever heard of the community? Can you tell us about Poke Patch?
Yeah, Poke Patch. That's where this lady come here. They're writing the story that I told you. She's a professor with Marshall College. She lives back across the country called Poke Patch, a farm back there.
Now, did you ever know anything about that, hear stories about that growing up, Poke Patch?
No, I didn't know anything about it until she told me.
Oh, okay. Now, are there any other things about African Americans in this area that you can tell us about in Burlington, Ohio?
Well, I'll tell you, most all African Americans in this town own their own homes. It was a very few African Americans here that rented. But a lot of them now, when things got bad, children come out of school, there was nothing here for them to do, so they left here and went somewhere else. So a lot of the property they sold off to white people. But see, there's no work here. CNO's down, International Nickel Plant down, and the plant at South Point, it closed out, and there was no work here. So the children, when they grew up, they just left there and went somewhere else. Some went to Washington, Detroit, Michigan, Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati. So nothing there. All my family left here. Me, I'm the only one that stayed. All of them done good. My brother was in California, and my other brother's children all went, got one in California, and the rest of them in Columbus, Ohio. They all done good.
Now, how many brothers and sisters did you have?
It was 8 of us all together.
And where in the lineup were you? What child were you?
I'm what?
Like, were you born first, second?
No, I'm not the 7th.
What was it like growing up in a family with 7 other kids?
Well, didn't know much about it. Only you reported and had to work on the farm. We raised a garden here. Mother canned fruit. We raised a garden. We canned the peaches, blackberries, and apples, we raised potatoes and everything like corn, beans. We were poor, we had plenty to eat, but we didn't have no money.
Where was the farm that your family owned?
Up the road here, well, you know, Walmart's and them places out in there?
Yeah.
My grandmother owned part of that out in there. I plowed corn out there many a day from 7 o'clock to 6 in the evening, $1 a day.
How about, when did you guys have electricity growing up?
What do you say?
Did you guys have electricity? When did you get electricity growing up?
Oh, I got electricity in 34. 19, electricity came in here before I got it, but I got electric in this house in 1940.
How about indoor plumbing?
Same time. I put the plumbing in here and put the electric in here too.
How long have you lived in this house?
This house,
Uh-huh.
all my life. My mother bought this house when I was 7 years old. $300 for this in 2 lots. And I'm the last survivor. I stayed here.
So, but the farm was someplace else that you guys owned?
Yeah, up the road here, mother didn't know it was my grandfather's farm, grandmother's farm. About a mile up the road here.
Is there anything else that you would like to add? I don't want to keep you long. I have lots of questions, but I'll keep it short. Is there any other stories that you'd like to tell us?
Well, we just survivors like the average. I say one thing, we got a nice church building, you've seen it over there. And our church property, we own 2 or 3 houses, and other property we've done well. And did you go in our church?
Yes.
It's modern, ain't it?
Yes.
Yes, sir. We have a wonderful choir stand. We got a nice piano there that one of the members of the church gave us, and we got a nice organ one of the members of one of the churches over town gave us. We don't have nobody to play. You want a job?
I don't play the organ very well, though. I wish I could.
Well, I got one here, and I don't play very well either. I used to play for the church, but I've got this carpal tunnel. I can't move my hands at all, hardly. Hurts me.
So, in what capacity did you serve in the church? Were you a deacon? Or?
No, I was superintendent of the church. I taught Sunday school for about 12 years, and I was superintendent of the church for 15 years. Just been recently that I haven't been able to attend.
I just have one more question for you. I've been hearing about when in the church here that if you committed something that people thought was a sin, like drinking or gambling, what happened to those people?
Well, you had to come to church, apologize before the church. Nothing happened no more to them than did anybody else, but it was just wrong for you to be a member of the church and do it.
What if a person didn't apologize? What would happen to them?
Well, they could turn you out.
Can you think of an instant where somebody was turned out of the church?
Yes, we've had people turned out, but they come back and apologize.
What types of things did the people do to get put out?
Drinking.
You mentioned you worked in a nightclub. Was that considered bad for the church? Did they care about that kind of stuff?
Well, they didn't say nothing about it. It was a job. I worked for the nightclub. I wasn't drinking.
What were employment opportunities like for African Americans here?
What do you say?
What kind of employment was available, jobs were available for blacks here?
Right in Burlington, wasn't none. All of them worked in Huntington, Ashland, Ironton. Wasn't nothing here to work. Some of them worked in Chesapeake. Women had maid service, and some of the men worked in the car garages. But mostly over in town, Huntington, men worked at the garages and C&O building and hotels like that, waited table. I can remember when it wasn't a white waitress in a hotel, motel, nothing like that. No bellhop. All of them are black. And now ain't a black waitress in Huntington, I don't think.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us?
You know, waitresses make good money. Bellhops make good money. But in Huntington, ain't no hotels there no more, and they don't use bellhops around the motels, I don't think.
Did you ever work as a bellhop?
No.
No.
I was offered a job, bellhop, but I wouldn't take it. I didn't like that kind of work.
So, if there's something that anybody should know about Burlington, Ohio history and African Americans, what would you say it is?
Well, Burlington's always been one of the nicest towns in this area. People always white and black always got along together here. We'd go to the white church, they'd come to ours. It's just been recently that kind of broke loose. When we was out of pasture for a while, the white minister came to our church. After he'd preached at his church, he'd come up to our church and preach on Sundays.
What was his name?
Wilson Hager,
And where was he the pastor? What church was he the pastor of?
White Methodist Church here.
And what year was this?
Oh, let's see now. That must have been in the 70s. Either in the 70s, latter part of 60s. Yeah, latter part of 60s.
Is there anything else before we end the interview?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, thank you very much.